His great uncle, when he was young, was taking a walk after a day's work. He went home to drink tea. He was in no hurry. It was a pleasant afternoon, slowly setting into the evening sun. He was alone on a quiet country road. Around him, miles stretched across wild swamps, ending in distant mountains. Puddles of water glistened here and there, darkening as he approached. As he had done 100 times or more, he passed by a deserted village far from the beaten path. The cottages and farms were just pieces of roofless walls, their occupants long gone. However, this familiar sight still unsettled him, and he sped up to pass it. Only on this occasion, he happened to see the outlines of overgrown vegetation in one of the fields that surrounded him. No one has plowed this field since the potato crop failed half a century ago. He didn't know what compelled him to go there. There were no gates, if any, but the stone walls held up quite well. He entered the field, wandering through the tall grass and scattered wildflowers. It was peaceful, but then a strange feeling came over him. He wasn't sure why he wanted to go there, but he was compelled to continue walking further. He couldn't say what was bothering him. Perhaps it was the memory of a tragedy that occurred here. He knew it was time to leave. He couldn't find a space where a door might have been. Half laughing, calling himself an idiot, he finally came up with some reason for the strange situation. The field wasn't too big, and the grass wasn't too high that he couldn't see, but he clearly couldn't see the exit. He will just follow the wall. This must eventually lead to the door, right? The sun had disappeared behind the horizon, and he still wasn't home. It was quite late before his wife became concerned. Having had to take some time to get over her annoyance at her husband for not coming home in time for dinner she had made him. First, she made sure he wasn't in any of the local pubs. His brothers, cousins, and friends formed a search party, looking throughout the entire town. They retraced the path he would have walked home from work. It was now nearly midnight, and the empty swamp was pitch black, with no moonlight to guide them. They called his name and listened attentively. No response was heard. However, a group of them continued hunting all night, walking cautiously through the swamp, calling, listening, but hearing nothing. It wasn't until the morning that he was found, still walking around the fields. One of his co-workers and two brothers stood outside the area calling his name. He seemed empty, unresponsive, but extremely desperate and exhausted. He didn't look up or even acknowledge their presence. Finally, his older brother grabbed his arm as he staggered through the opening of the wall. He looked at them with haunted eyes and mumbled about hunger. So much hunger, he was famished. Then he collapsed. He was taken home and cared for by his worried wife. He seemed aged and frail, shaken to the core. His fatigue was beyond what was expected for a healthy man in his prime, even one who had been walking all night. He was so hungry, always so hungry, that no food could appease. He never recovered and passed within a week.